our last day together. And today, you've heard about how plants grow and produce fruit and vegetables and flowers when they're sown in good soil. What a week of learning about living in God's love. Each day, we planted a seed to remind us of God's love. Each of the seeds were different, but together they'll make a complete pizza garden. When you look at the garden, you're reminded that when you grow in the good soil of God's love, you bear fruit. The good soil of God's love is where everyone is welcome. Let's plant our last seed of the week. We've planted tomatoes, peppers, basil, and onions. Today, we'll plant another herb, oregano. Wrap your last sheet of paper, turn it down a little bit, and then wrap your last sheet of paper around your little jar or can. Put a nice piece of tape on it. And then fold your bottom down. 1, 2, 3, 4. And put a couple more pieces of tape. So that it's good and secure. Then slide your little jar out. And there's your last seed pod. Just like before, we'll fill it up with nice soil. And then we'll take our oregano seed. These are the tiniest ones yet. They're like little bitty black specks. I don't know if you can even see them. We'll take a couple and put them right on top. Pat it down a little bit. Stuck in my hand. And then you can label your last pot. Oregano. O-R-E-G-A-N-O. Give it some water and put it in the sunshine. And then you have your pizza garden. Tomatoes, peppers, basil, onions, and oregano. And now you just have to take care of them, make sure they have lots of water, and watch them grow. Plants grow when they have everything they need. When they have water and sunlight and good soil and everything is in good harmony. When our heads, hearts, and hands are in harmony, we live together in God's love. When creation is in harmony, it can grow and blossom, and we can live in it in God's love. Today, we'll use our head, hands, and hearts to reuse something instead of throwing it away, to make something new and beautiful out of something that was used and broken. We'll use your old and broken crayons to make new ones. The earth is one big community where everyone and everything is connected. All creation depends on a healthy earth, and we can all do our part. Sometimes when one part of a community hurts or has a problem, the whole community can feel it. People can use their heads to think of solutions, their hands to help, and their hearts to care enough to make sure they get started. That's living together in God's love. A small problem in homes and churches, broken crayons, can be a big problem when all collected. Can you imagine all the broken crayons in all the homes and churches around the world? Today, we'll combine our heads, hands, and hearts to make something new from the old. We'll use our heads to be creative with our projects, making new crayons out of old broken ones. Then we'll use our hands, and while we work, we'll use our hearts to decide who will receive the new crayons. For this, you'll need your old crayons, a muffin pan, a glass jar, a microwave or an oven, and an adult to help you. That's important for this. First, look through your crayons and pick out any that are broken or have been used a lot. If they have paper on them, you'll need to peel it off. If you have trouble peeling it off, you can try soaking the crayons in water for a little bit. That'll make the paper soft and easier to peel. Once you have the paper off, you'll want to break your crayons into even smaller pieces. To make prettier crayons, don't mix all of the colors together at once. You wouldn't want this black one, for example, mixed in with the orange. That'll just make mud. Instead, you can pick 2 or 3 colors that are similar to each other, like the red and the orange, and maybe this gold. You can put the crayon pieces that you've chosen into a small glass jar. Now, you have to have an adult's help. Don't try this by yourself because it will be very hot and you could get burned. Have an adult microwave the crayon bits for a minute or so at a time, checking until they are all melted. The adult could also melt the crayons by putting the jar in a pan of water on the stove. Either way, make sure that your adult helper is using oven mitts to handle the glass because it will be very, very hot. Once the crayons are all melted, the adult should pour the mixture into muffin cups, putting just a little in each cup. If you want, you can carefully swirl the colors with a toothpick. Then, leave the mixture alone and give it some time to cool and harden. Once it's hard, you'll be able to turn the muffin pan over and dump the crayons out of the cup. And you'll have recycled beautiful, swirly, big round crayons out of your little broken pieces. What will you do with these new crayons to live together in God's love? Will you use them yourself to make a card for one of your friends or neighbors, or maybe the adult who helped you? Will you give a crayon to a younger brother or sister or friend as a gift? If you want, you can use one of your crayons on our last project. You'll need a piece of paper and a marker or a pencil too. If you have big rolls of paper at home, you can lie down and ask an adult to trace your outline. If not, you can draw the outline of a person on a smaller paper, like I'm doing. We're going to look back at your experiences and look ahead to renewing ways of living. Do you remember the 4 H words in today's song? Head, hands, heart, harmony. How have you used your head, hands, and heart to care for creation? What are some green goals, some goals to help the environment that you might set for yourself? What about goals to help your family or your community? Now we're going to put this whole week together, kind of like living in harmony. You'll need the tracing or drawing of your body, and then when your outline is ready, think about each of these questions and write or draw your answer. Let's start with the head. During this Renew VBS, what new facts did you discover about creation or about yourself? Maybe you discovered that all sorts of different seeds grow into different plants. And that we need all sorts of different seeds to have beautiful creation. Next, think about your heart. What new things do you care about? Maybe you care about reusing items that could have been thrown away. Or maybe you care about taking care of your pizza garden and watching your plants grow. Now your hands. What was your favorite thing that we did? Did you like making the pocket of promise? Or maybe doing some drawings? Or maybe planting the pizza garden? Or maybe the new crayons that we just did right now? Think about what you liked best. I'm drawing the crayons and the pizza garden. Now finally, we have the big question. What about your feet? What will you do to live in harmony with creation in the future? Maybe you can think about these things that you've drawn or written. Maybe you can help in a garden or grow some more plants of your own. Maybe you can share the tomatoes and onions and plants that you're going to grow with your friends and neighbors. Maybe you can help gather up garbage or make sure that recyclables are being reused when possible. You can think about these questions for a while, but once you've answered them, have fun with your picture. You can add hair or clothing or anything else that you want. And then when you're finished, hang your drawing up somewhere that you can look at it and remember how to live together in harmony in God's love. We've come to the end of our Renew VBS week. I hope you've had fun making, singing, listening, and learning. In one short parable, Jesus helped us learn so much about God's world. Seeds of promise sprout into all sorts of wonderful plants, filled with fruits that feed us and all of creation. Those scattered seeds make our world a better place. God's love is a seed that grows and sprouts in us too, and produces fruit when we love and serve each other in God's creation. Our job is to head out to many different places and try to show others how we care for creation with our head, hands, and heart, and how we live together in harmony in God's love. I hope you'll remember that this summer. Bye!